My greatest fear is probably dying with no one knowing of any contribution I've ever made to creative music. But that's cool because I made an album already that I'm so proud of that, you know, if I died tomorrow and touch wood, you know, I would still feel fulfilled in a way.
The world is yours, and I'ma do it for all my niggas and all my haters. We talking like we ain't all in, and we ain't getting paper. No, I'm in my zone, and no, we never fake it. Ride for my niggas, all take. I'ma die for my city, all take. Oh, the world
Shit is crazy these days, maybe seem kinda strange to a nigga like me. My mama told me, thank God, keep my head in the game. What's the G off in this game? Got a nigga like me. I see this shit is clear as day, even in my sleep. And so I pull out my chain, be the fresh I can be. So I hate to stay off in your lane. You can't do it like me. I be the coolest on the block. It's your boy Jay. This for all my shorties that be getting money. This for all my niggas that be getting money. In this generation, ain't no hesitation. Wake up in the morning, you know I be on it. Living for the moment, you know I be on it. I'm crowd surfing, ain't no denying the high performance. Fuck a hater, try to tell me how to be now. Judging me on style, vocabulary, performance, not ordinary, original. Tell the haters simmer down. Focus on this life that I'm living now. Living now.
Welcome back, y'all, to another episode of the Topcast. I am your host, the incredible T.O.P. Joined again by a fan favorite. She's been around for quite some time. Did some of my first shows with me back on Anchor Podcast earlier in the year. We did an entire series here earlier in the year. And the last time that she was here, we were talking about the zodiac and the sign of Taurus specifically. That was a few months back. But with no further ado, I would like to welcome back Juicy to the Topcast. How you doing, Juicy?
Hi, I'm doing well.
Welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, folks, this is another in-studio video because that's how I do with people that I know. If I knew you, you'd probably be here too. But you're not. But you are in a way. Anyway, salute Cam. Great show last night, man. I surely appreciate you coming through and having a dialogue with me about, you know, some ideas that I have on my mind and, you know, what was your perspective on them. But this evening, as the title denotes, you know, men are from Mars and women are from Venus. Juicy and I are back again here to give our perspective from both the masculine and the female point of view. Because what I notice is oftentimes you see a lot of guys who often try to give both views. And to be perfectly honest, as men, we only qualified to speak on women to a point. As far as expertise goes, women are always going to beat us at being the experts on women. And it's the same thing conversely when it comes to us men. You know, there's never going to be a woman that could tell a man more about a man than a man, if you understand what I'm saying. But Juicy and I both see some things that go on between men and women, that go on amongst women, and that go on amongst men exclusively, that we like to conversate about and bounce ideas off of each other, so that we can exchange perspectives and not and even if we disagree, not be disagreeable. So that's one example that is the intention of this particular show, to demonstrate to you guys how you communicate with women, and trouble free for the most part, because you do have to guide women sometimes that they get sidetracked. But nonetheless, you mentioned a video here recently, Juicy, and it's unfortunate because we both are in the same space, and so it's going to be difficult to play the video and us listen to the audio at the same time without feedback in the microphone. So for the sake of it, we're just going to talk about it. But the video is on my Instagram page, and it's a young lady, I do not know her name, having a conversation with oh damn, now the gentleman's name escapes me. It'll come to me at some point in time. But anyhow, the gist of the conversation, from what I understand, is that the young lady was saying to the guy, to the man, that essentially, why can't you provide a fantasy for me? And he was expressing that, well, because I'm with you, you the last person that I want to, not be truthful with. And she essentially was saying, like most of us guys who are, have experience with women, know that women often prefer the fantasy over reality. And as a consequence, women have a tendency to try to impose their fantasies on reality, and it ends up causing them a lot of, pain and suffering. But I think women are masochistic by nature, and they kind of like a little bit of pain and suffering. Do you recall the conversation in the video that I was speaking about?
Yes.
Okay. Would you happen to remember the names of those two participants?
I may be wrong, but I can't remember her name, but I think his name, is it James Baldwin?
Yeah, James Baldwin. That's who it was. The young lady and James Baldwin. Yeah, she's a cute little thing. Kind of remind me of Pam Grier almost, but she's not Pam Grier. So what did you take away from that conversation? As a female, if you can interpret what she was asking of Mr. Baldwin, if you could kind of break that down so that a fifth grader can understand, because a lot of guys, they don't quite understand, why women think the way they do and what motivates them to find fantasy or preference over reality. A lot of guys don't really understand the inner workings of a woman's mind. So if you could speak to, what she was communicating to Mr. Baldwin and what she was asking, I would appreciate that.
What she basically was saying to Mr. Baldwin was, she was speaking of relationships and basically saying, well, I understand that you go out there in the world and you fake it. You wear this mask. And I'm asking you to come home and do the same thing with me. Lie to me. Wear this mask because it's easier for me to handle. We got to create fake dreams because there is no dream.
Yeah, that sounds that sounds confusing. Very confusing to me. And also, because of the experience that I had with women and just with people in general, it doesn't just apply to women because we all wear some kind of a mask. I understand that women wear different masks for different men, different masks for different situations, etc., etc. And it, in thinking about what you just said about what she said, it's almost, I get the feeling that she's almost like asking him to like act like a woman.
Right.
But I could be misreading that or misinterpreting.
Because it's easier for her. And excuse me, that was really, watching that video was really deep to me. Overall, honestly, it was disturbing. I watched it, and although I'm aware, I still ask myself, like, are we women that selfish? You know, she basically was acknowledging, I know you, black man, go out here in the world and you gotta deal with this white man and put on a face. You gotta mask who you truly are and how you truly feel on a daily basis. And when you come home to me, keep on a mask. You know, that was, we're aware of all the issues that black men go through outside the home.
Black women.
Yes, black women are aware, right? So, and we're aware also because we got our own issues that we go through when we're outside dealing, you know, with white people. So what makes us so special that we tell this black man, no, you got a lot of us too?
It's really, really interesting. I'm familiar with the selfishness of women, and I've remarked before that even though guys try to ridicule me about it a little bit, that women often pick the kind of guys who they would be if they could pick God, if they could be guys. And the point I'm trying to make is to speak on the aspect of women and women's selfishness, that a lot of guys are often confused why women like really selfish guys, and it's because women are selfish themselves. And if they could be guys, they would be like that selfish guy that they like. And I don't think guys understand that in that way, So I think what she's asking is very selfish, because essentially what she's asking him to do, from my interpretation, is to fake with me,
right,
so that I can feel good. And I can tell you guys, as a man, when it comes to women and their emotions, you have to learn to put women in position to let them deal with their own emotions. But at the same time, you have to recognize as a guy, when it's a real emotion and when it's just some bullshit. She just fucking with you. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, women are like that.
Right.
You guys, y'all want these women, but you don't be ready for what come with them. And then, when a guy like me show up and try to tell you, this is what it is, y'all want to look at me funny, but y'all really looking funny, because I'm not up here complaining about no woman running me over. No child support, no unwanted pregnancies, no unwanted children. She ain't took half of my stuff or none of that. So, I think that qualifies me to speak on the subject. I think what Mr. Baldwin was trying to explain to her is that, in kind of an indirect way, is that for us as black men to go out here and have to wear these masks, have to pretend with a smile that we like the situation that we in, even though deep down inside a lot of us don't. We just, a lot of us just don't have the cojones to actually speak up about it in public. Like, a lot of guys would be very hesitant to speak in the manners that I do on certain things, and I understand why. They have things that are of interest to them that prevents them from doing so. But I recognize that that's the trap.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Because they bees in the trap.
Mm-hmm.
But that's neither
Mm-hmm.
here and there. But I think what Mr. Baldwin was trying to explain to her is that just being a black man in this country alone, just existing as that kind of a person or individual, is highly stressful in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
Because unlike white folks and unlike other groups of men from other countries, if some white guy or even some black guy was to shoot me down in the street, I don't have a secret army to come and seek justice,
right?
And nobody's going to come and avenge me.
Mm-hmm.
There's no secret black Avengers out there, what I'm saying? Right. Except for T'Challa, rest in peace, the Chadwick Boseman and the fictitious place of Wakanda. But yeah, and I think he was also trying to impress upon her is that, look, it's exhausting going out and have to be fake. When I come home, I don't want to have to do that. I should be able to relax and be myself.
Right.
But that also let me know that if those two were in a relationship and that's what she was requiring of him, then and if he did it, one, she wouldn't respect him.
Exactly.
And two, he would not be being himself, which is two things that I advocate that dudes get from women from Jump Street. I mean, as soon as you start talking to her.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? You have to establish that dynamic. And if you don't, she'll be talking to you crazy like the chick in the video. There's got to be a dream, but there is no dream.
Right.
What bitch?
Okay,
like what you just said. You just double spoke to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta find somebody a little bit slower than that. But as far as these females go, a lot of guys talking about it, and I'm not saying that they shouldn't. I just think that they kind of overdo it. You, like I say to these guys, okay, you've already determined that black women are this or that, and that you're going to respond by doing this or that, and all that's all good and all well. Well, then you keep beating the dead horse, because there's a lot of motherfuckers on YouTube that keep reiterating the same goddamn conversation. And what a lot of these guys' conversation remind me of is like bitches and hair weave. You waste a lot of time and money on something that's completely useless.
Right.
I mean, you've already determined, all right, I'm going to deal with black women, but I'm not going to deal with single mothers. Okay, you don't need to have that conversation anymore.
Right.
Okay, I'm leaving the country and I'm going to find me Mei Ling. Okay, good. There's no need for you to continue to make material talking about women who you say you don't want.
Right.
And, that's basically the gist of what I'm saying, and that's my way of saying to guys and, to myself, because a lot of the shit that I'm saying in my content really applies to me. It's how I'm going to respond to shit. I'm not telling guys that they should respond to things the way I respond to them. I'm just saying, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. And, when I have conversations with people, just something that you want to think about. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to accept it, but it's something for you to think about. I think that a lot of these guys, especially because they single mother raised, which is ironic. I don't see how you raised by a single mother and then you get online complaining about single mothers. It's like the pot kettle calling the fucking kettle black. But I think a lot of these guys are not accountable to just probably the same degree as a lot of these women are. What is your opinion on that?
I agree. I'm not a man.
Obviously, titties look extra soft.
I was born a woman, will die as a woman. So to your point, I can't
Hold
speak.
on, let me see if you got a coochie. I don't know. It's 2021. You might be one of them people. No, I'm fucking with you.
But I never been a black man, so I can only speak on black men to a certain degree. And as a black woman, that's why it's important to me to really discuss these topics, because I am basically telling you the truth of how women are.
Let me ask you right there. Why do you think that a lot of women are hesitant to have that kind of a discussion? Be straight up. I have an honest dialogue with guys about that, because obviously, we have lots of problems, individually and collectively, as a group of males and a group of females, and then as a group of people all together. But I noticed that a lot of women be very hesitant to have the conversation, and they usually resort to shit like shaming tactics.
Why? Because our only weapon that we have is our psychological strength.
I said that before.
Go around beating up men. You understand? Like, we learn at a very early age that you got to use what you have, and all we have is we gonna make you think you're crazy.
Gaslighting.
We're gonna deny the truth, right? And at the same time, it also makes us feel better. We're all about, as long as it makes us feel good, it's cool. We don't care whether it's a lie, just like she was saying, pointing out her safe haven is a lie. But in reality, that's really not true. Because she's still going to be unhappy with a man who pretends. Just like, to your point, she can't respect him because she knows he's pretending.
And especially because it's upon her request.
Yeah, right.
It's not like he's pretending on his own. He's doing it to satisfy her.
Right.
Gentlemen, you can't really satisfy women. You just kind of got to do what you do with them, and they'll be satisfied on their own. They know how to get from you what they want, and for the most part, you really don't want to be overly preoccupied with what it is that women want from you, so that you don't fuck it up. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, but please continue, Juice.
A woman, women should self-evaluate and understand what it is that they want.
Why do you think a lot of women will say that they want something, but in reality, that's not actually what they end up with?
The lie is easier to digest. Most women are.
So it's easier for a woman to say, it's easier for a woman to say, I want a good guy, a rich millionaire, but in reality, she really a thotty body, and that's how she really get down.
Right. Here's the truth. Women will say, "Oh, I'm independent. I'm this and that. I don't need a man." In reality, most women base their existence. They judge how valuable they are based on what men think about them. That's why women look at marriage. So you seen a woman get married, and now it's my husband. Can you at least say his name? He's a person. We get it. We understand. We know you married. That's because they base their value on what men think.
You hear that, fellas? Say that one more time. Women do what?
Base their value on what men think.
Okay. I get it.
So therefore, that woman is telling you, I want a relationship. I want to be married. She understands that she cannot tell the truth about herself. Yeah, I'm a hoe. I like fucking different dicks. She can't say that because then that goal of marriage, relationship, being taken seriously.
She'd be worried about what guys think about her.
Exactly. Exactly. And low key, women also worry about what other women think too.
So women spend a great amount of time worried about what other people think.
Yes.
And for guys, we should do the exact opposite. Me personally, I don't give a fuck what none of you motherfuckers think about me. I only care about what you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
D.O. That's it. Because what you think about me ain't gonna really affect me as compared to what you would do to me. You understand what I'm saying? You dig me? All right. Yeah, that's pretty wild though. Women, y'all, you and your people, you know, other women, y'all are some really strange creatures. And it's not many guys that really, to be honest, in my opinion, have the necessary skills to deal with women beyond certain points. Mm-hmm. So, you know, shit, a lot of these guys have a hard time even having sex. So, you know, why try to deal with women beyond that if you ain't you haven't even gotten a handle on that aspect of dealing with women.
Right.
And then you get guys that they only want to have sex. You know, it's like, how could you sit back and talk about how many bodies a female got when you contribute to that? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Now, if you're not out here, you know, randomly smashing all these women, okay, yeah, you got a point. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? But if you're out here contributing to the problem, then that you say that women have, then you don't have a leg to stand on, at least in my opinion. Right. You know, I mean, for me to do something like that, I would feel incredibly hypocritical. Mm-hmm. So, you know, again, I'm not saying that, you know, what you guys should be doing. I'm just saying how I think about these things.
Now, in terms of the video, mm-hmm. I really took a step back to maybe think, let me really break this down. Is she really trying to say that the reason why she wants to be lied to is because she doesn't want to deal with the psychological effect that racism has on Black men? Mm. I mean,
that's interesting, because that's an aspect of that conversation that we as Black people we don't publicly have it for the most part. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of us like to act as if the system of white supremacy, which is also the same thing as the system of racism, mm-hmm. we like to pretend as if that does not have an effect, a drastic effect, mm-hmm. you know, the true effect that it has in our lives, right. and consequently in our relationships. Mm-hmm. You know, you hear these guys on YouTube talking about it now. Oh, well, you know, when we was enslaved, as if we aren't still, right. Because we are enslaved economically, and they keep inflating the fucking money, which means they're basically stealing your time, mm-hmm. to work for their ends. Yep. But, you know, you hear guys on YouTube saying, oh, well, when we was enslaved, these Black women, they were never brought over here for us. Well, okay. Mm-hmm. If you understand that, then that should tell you that the women themselves aren't your problem. Mm-hmm. And, you know, like I pointed out before, and it may be a little too much logic for people, but even let's just do a thought experiment. Let's say that right now in 2021, what's today, the 10th? Mm-hmm. October 10th, 2021, at 4:19 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that we cease having any problems out of Black women, and they were 150% cooperative, we would still have an issue with white folks. Mm-hmm. So the behavior of Black women, and even a lot of the behaviors of Black men, are a symptom of the stressful system that we live under. Yes. And without taking that into consideration, you're not really putting Black women's behavioral responses, and nor are you putting Black men's behavioral responses in proper context.
Right. And, you know, to be honest, it has a lot of negative effects, mm-hmm. on the Black family structure. Mm-hmm. You know, destructive behaviors, you know, the abuse, neglect. We mm-hmm. pass down our own traumas to children.
Mm-hmm. That shit, as a matter of fact, there was just a guy here on YouTube. I don't want to mention his name or nothing. I don't want to get sued. You know, people be into that kind of shit in 2021. Mm-hmm. But he basically just admitted to being following the same behavioral pattern as R. Kelly.
Wow.
So, you know, you got a African American male preying on, you know, young females, regardless of what mm-hmm. their race is, you know. But
Now, if she was saying that, you know, basically,
you don't, and consequently, you don't hear a lot of niggas on YouTube calling this nigga out for this shit. It's not as loud as they call out these motherfucking women.
See?
I just wanted to mention that. But sorry for the interruption. But please finish what you were saying.
Yeah, no, see that, and that's what I think is needed. Men need to call out men, and women need to call out women.
I agree with you on that one.
You know, it's not just one side. Just like in a relationship, you can't. It takes two to make a relationship work. Therefore, to fix the problem that we have between ourselves, it's going to take men and women both working on their issues at the same time.
I agree.
You know, we got to let go of our pride. We quick to tell someone, no, it's your fault. I have nothing to do with that. No, take accountability, take ownership.
I agree.
It takes a lot to admit, yes, you know, I contributed to the societal issues that we have as Black people.
Yeah, I agree. And I try to hammer that point home as much as and as often as possible. But you know, to no avail. But I'm really more primarily focused on doing my part, and that only means that I can focus on working on myself. You know,
but see, that's where it starts.
Yeah, I've said that before too. But you know, sometimes starting is very hard, especially when your car all broke up.
Yeah,
you know, you got a dead battery.
You know,
and it's been sitting for 5 years.
Look, society's designed to be that way. It's designed to make us focus and work, continue to be slaves, so that we don't even have the time to focus on the real issues.
Yeah, I've said that to people before, and I just said it here, you know, just a few moments ago. A lot of people don't realize that you still, you know, as Black people, we still are enslaved. And a lot of us think that because we don't have chains on and it's not some white man with a whip, unless you down on the Texas, United States border and you're Haitian, and, you know, there's not no white man on a horse with a whip, and you're not on the plantation. But most of us don't understand that this system, it changes, it morphs into another form. And so now you're enslaved economically. And how the economy works is you trade your time for money. And when the money supply gets inflated, they're essentially stealing your time. And so who's really tripping here? Right. You know, you think you're winning because you got millions and millions of fucking dollars, but they can print as many of them just as they want to.
Right.
And before you know it, you done help them build the Golden Gate Bridge, and you don't even have a home.
Okay.
You feel me?
Right.
So,
and I think one of the reasons why this video was disturbing to me is because, you know, Black men were brought over here to do what?
Work.
Right.
Free.
Right. And us Black women treat our Black men the same way.
Yeah, I tell guys all the time, the way that Black women, I see Black women behave, it's not unexpected or unanticipated. I anticipate Black women to be behaving exactly like they are. And one is because I understand how chaotic women's nature is. You know, just like the woman said in the video, you know, I want the fantasy. Yeah. No, I want the dream, but there is no dream. Like, are you serious?
Right.
You just negated what you just said.
But see, this is where the escapism comes in. And that's what I got from this whole video of her speaking. This is just escapism. But you're doing more damage. You know?
a lot of us, that I think in general, for us as Black people in general, that's the rule and not the exception. You know, but I mean, all this goes into psychology and all that shit.
Right.
Stockholm syndrome.
Right.
And, you know, and motherfuckers want to fit in and be tokens and all that shit. You know, people, guys like me, I sound fucking crazy. You know, to most black people. They'll tell me, "Oh, you hate white people." No, I don't hate anybody. You know, this is nothing personal. It's all business. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And this is the business that I was forced to participate in. So, you know, I'm going to be very business minded and go about it very business like.
Right.
You know, logical.
I think black women do not understand the importance of black men and black women being safe with each other. And what I mean by that is the ability to interact with each other without walls or masks.
Yeah, well, good luck getting bitches dropping masks. I mean, they got like 100 of shits or more. So, you know, you drop one, you just reveal a new one.
You know, again, it starts on an individual basis. So maybe there's a woman who listens to this and really thinks, you know what? Maybe she got a point. Maybe he got a point. Yeah. You know?
I mean, I'm sure that there are other women out there who are a lot more thoughtful about these things. It's just very unfortunate that they few and far in between.
Right.
But you know, like it's not going to take every single black person. It's just going to take the right number.
Right.
You know, you hit the right critical mass of people, and you know we can change our situation overnight, or rather over a weekend. You know, because you know niggas get shit done when it's real important. You know what I'm saying? Especially if they go to the club. You know what I'm saying?
You know, but me personally, like I don't want my black man to be fake with me.
Yeah, that's another thing. Is because women often say in regards to men, you know, just be real with me, and I'm like, that's why you know, man, guys, you got to be really, really careful when you're dealing with women and do a lot more listening and a hell of a lot less talking. And you will hear some shit that is just gonna blow your fucking mind because you're like, this bitch don't make no fucking sense. And those are your opportunities to hook into her mentally and correct her thinking. You know what I'm saying? But you got to get her talking first so she'll be more receptive to the shit that you say.
Right.
Instead of puffing up your chest and bossing up and tell her she go submit.
Right.
Yeah, right, nigga. Submit to what?
Right. You know what she was suggesting in that video, all I saw is this is exactly what creates a further divide. You know, we already struggle understanding each other's language.
Yeah, men and women, we communicate entirely differently.
Right.
You know, women they more I say subjective. Guys are more objective.
Right. I also say women are indirect.
And men are more direct. Very indirect. Very indirect. But
which is confusing.
For the untrained guy, it could be very, very confusing to interpret what the fuck women be doing. You know, so that's why, you know, and I've been like this, you know, throughout my dealings with women, and I kind of always force them to reveal what their hand is. Look, bitch, what do you want? Let me decide whether or not I want to give it to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? X gonna give it to you.
And you see, that's so simple. It don't have.
But a lot of guys don't. A lot of guys don't do that because when they're dealing with women, first of all, they only thinking about pussy, and there's nothing wrong with, you know, some pussy. I love pussy, but you have to put things into perspective.
Right.
You know, what else? What other talents does she have besides sucking dick and taking back shots? Because you'd be surprised. You know, I tell guys all the time, man, don't be afraid to treat these women like they treat you. You know, not that you being nefarious or nothing, but if she go use you like a utility, use her motherfucking ass like a utility. You know, like my grandparents used to tell me, man, we all use each other. The key is to use people without abusing them.
Yes, absolutely.
That's the key.
Absolutely.
So
don't
feel bad that the chick got with you and she using you for something. That's you got with her and you want to use her for her pussy. So
right,
you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
You just gotta adjust your prices for the market that you're in. And remember, like Fat Joe said, yesterday's price is not today's price. But the price is always right. Yeah, before we get out of here, Juicy, I want us both to give our closing thoughts because we moving up to the almost close to the hour mark.
Okay.
But another video that I wanted to speak about was just a short clip by Shahrazad Ali. And it's salute to the sister Shahrazad Ali because she always on time, And just to remind you niggas, Miss Ali said that she put that book out, The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman, not so that you niggas could be mad at women, because the book is to put you niggas on notice about what the fuck you ain't doing that's helping contribute to these women's misbehavior. Understand? But she recognized the God bodies. Salute to the gods, the nation of gods and earth. A lot of you niggas is broads, but you supposed to be the gods. But you want respect from these broads. Did I just rhyme? Salute to Sir Ism. We'll be back this evening at 9 p.m. niggas. So tune in again. But basically the gist of what Miss Ali was saying is that that she think that guys should think of themselves in those terms, and that women should start looking at their black women should start looking at black men in those terms. And I agree with her, but in order for that to happen, guys are going to have to step up.
Right.
And they're going to have to step up in a way that's going to kind of force women's hand.
Right.
And that time is coming because if these white folks that participate in the economy are right, we get ready to see a whole lot of motherfuckers make a whole lot of money because the money supply being inflated. And because of technology, half of you motherfuckers ain't going to have no job. So we go into a long period of deflation where motherfuckers ain't going to have no income. That's why you hear about shit like universal basic income out there in California. You hear these central banks talking about issuing CBDCs. You better go watch that movie Ready Player One, because that's your future. Unless you want a new one or a different one or a better one. What you niggas gonna do? But what do you think about Miss Ali's idea?
I agree.
Because I know you from Freehold and shit.
I'm not from Freehold.
You're still East Coast. So, I know you familiar with the gods. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, I completely agree with her. And when I say that, here's the issue that women have. Oh, so I'm supposed to view the man as a god, but what about me? See?
Well, she could be the goddess.
Exactly. And that's not. There's nothing wrong. Listen,
I think these bitches they want the goddess to be supreme to the god, but no. You, if I'm the king and you the queen, who is better than who? See, a lot of these guys don't understand that women. Why the reason why you hear women say I'm independent and I don't need a man? When you hear women say that, retranslate that into nigga, I'm better than you. Because that's really what she's saying. And with women, fellas, she got to perceive you as better than she is, because the king is better than the queen.
Right.
Anywhere on the planet, in any species.
Right.
A little female penguin ain't got shit on no king penguin. You understand what I'm saying?
If she thinks the man is beneath her, she is not going to respect that man. And then they having babies, and this is what they're showing to the children. See, this is how we created this continuous cycle.
Yeah, and that's very unfortunate. But again, I would say that's a direct result of an outsider interfering into our affairs and making a way where Black women can be responsible for the family by themselves. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely. That was all by design.
Power corrupts, gentlemen. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And all of you niggas know, especially if you got a PlayStation or an Xbox, nigga, when you're winning, you don't want to give the fucking controller up. So that's what time it is. And you have to understand these things. But with that, I'm going to take you out with another track by my man Jay Geezer. I want to thank Juicy for blessing the Topcast yet again with an in-studio appearance. You need to put them titties up. I'm just saying, trying to entice a motherfucker over here and shit. It's unfair. I'm going to call foul, throw a flag on the play. But I want to thank everybody who came to participate in the show and watch. James Brown, Cam, I salute to you guys. Anybody who was secret watching, because I know there was more than 2 people in here. I appreciate you too. Hit the like button for me because it's free. It helps the YouTube algorithm. And I'm heavy into the crypto game. There's some links in the video description below. Some promotions going on. You can generate a passive income by putting you some crypto over on the Celsius app. They're paying 6.2% on your Bitcoin, 5.3% on your ETH, 10.5% on your Matic. So, et cetera, et cetera. And it's very much like your traditional savings or checking account. As a matter of fact, it's kind of like a combination of the two. But anyway, if you deposit $400, I would advise you to use stable coins because they're non-volatile, hence the name stable. If you deposit $400 worth of stable coins on Celsius for 30 days, they'll pay you $100 in stable coins for doing so if you use the promo code STABLE400. If you use my referral code, you'll get an extra $50 in Bitcoin. So, you can't lose. Your $400 going to sit there. It's going to, and they pay 8.8% per year on stable coins. So you deposit your $400. It's going to be generating 8.8. It's going to be generating 8.88% for roughly a month out of a year, which is about 75 cents. And you're going to make $100 for doing so, plus an extra $50. So you're making $150 on $400. You can't go wrong. I'm trying to help you make some money. Also, you can join the Coinbase or Gemini exchange with my promo codes below. You get free $10 in Bitcoin by doing so, provided that you buy $100. Again, $100 worth of crypto. Again, I would buy $100 worth of stable coins because they are essentially electronic dollars. They work the exact same way. The good thing about crypto is that your electronic dollars got more utility, and now you actually can use them in the same way that these banks use your money when you go deposit it or you get a direct deposit, from your weekly or bi-weekly check. Also, check out FTX. It's a trading platform where you can trade stocks, options, futures, and you can buy crypto. Now, they don't have any specials going on, but I do have an affiliate link down below that you can use to join FTX US if you are a US-based listener. If you're not, then you get the privilege of getting access to the entire FTX international website. Check them out. Also, I got 2 Instagram pages, the Incredible T.O.P. and the Topcast Instagram page. Go follow me on both if you haven't already. Also, catch episodes of the Topcast on Anchor Podcast or your favorite podcast outlet. If you haven't already, bang the like button, bang the reminder bell, subscribe to the channel, bring a friend. That friend can be your auntie. I'm accepting applications until November. Until next time, folks, enjoy my man Jay Geezer, straight from the city. Till next time, Peace. Thanks again, Juicy.
Sunny day on a block and it's so good. Take a look, you can see what I mean. Run around showing love to the whole hood. Who you know can do it like me? I'm just playing the game, but you know every day ain't the same. So I'ma ride for the city, I die for the city, straight from the city.
Yeah, waking up in the morning, weekend weather, fly birds outside yawning. Last night was on and popping, gets on to the next one. I pause for a second, I'm focused. Back got the flow tip, back got the potion. Earth, wind, and fire, moms, pops at it program, but it don't get no better. Stack cheddar on the regular, NY down to NC, playing that bigger dog. Despite the niggas right, I is back on my grind. A fist full of dollars, I'm on fire. Flow like rivers now, tigers with stripes like a tiger. Speech for my kinfolk admire people that get dough. I'm all about the checks, Nikes, dreaming about who next up, broken in that. I cruise through the city, passing extras, director yelling action. Fly mommies popping bottle shots for the army. I took a glance at a fly lady. I cruise like a hustler to the paper, it's only nature. Shorty got some nice racks on racks and a smooth money maker, yeah.
Got me feeling like Nas in my book of rhymes. You play in the orchestra, bet that you can feel these lines. With my mind reminiscing, JGI spitting subliminal lines, hitting pictures of moments in time. Reminiscing, summarizing the 20th song. And got a vision of a rebel standing next to God. And that's a vision of a devil falling from the sky. And why? Nigga, check my level when I'm on the grind. Ahead of my time, know I'm kinda like fighting for my life in the dark, and ain't no sign of light. Evolution in your life, choosing wrong and right. In 21-9, niggas still be trying to sound alike, trying to do it big and live this style of life. Style sincere like Nasir, but all I need's one mic. Look into the eyes of a little nigga on the grind. Sparks like my rim tire when I pull up on the block. I try to tell you it's the sus, nigga. You say you do it all yourself, and that's what's up, nigga. I try to hit you to the plan, let you know that I'm the man. Got my city with me everywhere we go. Got the fam, 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 got the fam. Sunny day on the block and it's so good. Take a look, you can see what I mean. Run around showing love to the whole hood. Who you know can do it like me? I'm just playing the game, but you know every day ain't the same. So I'ma ride for the city, I die for the city, straight from the city. Straight from the city.